Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here to bring you a wig review in partnership with name brand wigs. This is Jasmine Jazz by Belle Tress. It's a brand new style. It's in the color English Toffee. Jasmine Jazz has a center part, a lace front, and it's a pretty blunt cut with some waves on the end. And it's fairly short as well. If you want to know more and see this color outside, then stick around. I'm grateful to Name Brand Wigs for sending me this piece so that I could show it to all of you. I am just a fan of theirs from the very beginning of my wig wearing journey. I was a customer long before I partnered with them on reviews. You can find this piece linked in the description along with a coupon code. And if you've never visited their website, I strongly encourage you to do so. They have some great education, they have a blog, and they're a wonderful support of the wig wearing community. All right, everybody, let's take a look at this one from all sides. Now, something to be aware of on this piece is that it does have a fairly short nape. The nape measurement at the website says it's 1.75 to 2 inches, so it's not very exact. Now, because it's got this part, the crown part, which is fairly long, I think it's going to be okay, but if you have a long hairline in the back, be aware of what length nape you need in order to cover your bio hair. I always say anything under 2 inches, really be aware of that. I do think though that this style, because the nape is fairly short, but you've got all this, it does mitigate that just a little bit. Now this is a blunt cut bob, kind of a chin length bob. There really aren't a ton of layers in this one, and so what's happening with the curl pattern is it's really kind of poofy on the bottom. So you got this kind of bump out on the bottom because of the curl. I think it can be really darling, and some people are going to love that style, but if you love everything about it but you just wish there was a little more volume at the top, these are made with heat-friendly fibers, and you can add curl to them. So you can alter the style a little bit if that's what you prefer to do. Another thing, and I do Tip Tuesdays all the time, playing with your wigs and making them your own is super, super important. Some people will take and they'll add a little bit of layering in to give it a little bit less of a bump out on the bottom. I'm not telling you that there's anything wrong with this piece. There really isn't. What I'm trying to do is help you to envision how you can make a piece your own if when you watch these reviews, you see a style and there's one little thing that you wish were different. Well, if it's an easy fix, you may be able to make that happen for yourself. Now this one does have a middle part and a lace front. Let's take a look at that lace front. It's actually, for this dark of a color, it's really good. You're always going to see a little tiny bit of knotting. You may see a lot of knotting on some brands, but when it's a dark brunette like this, they can't bleach knots on synthetics, so there's always going to be a little bit of knotting to contend with, but Belle Tress did just a fantastic job hiding these knots, making them small, giving it a realistic hairline. I think they did a great job. Now the part is a center part, and that they really densely knotted, so you really can't see much of that part line. I have a couple of videos where I show you how to work with a part line, how to pluck it, how to use makeup to draw it out to give it more of a scalp appearance. Some people really like densely knotted parts, and I'd rather a manufacturer err on the side of densely knotted versus not enough hair. And so if you are someone who looks at that and wishes it was a little more of a defined part, I've got videos that will help you, and I will make sure that they're linked in the description so that you can go watch them. Again, wig wearing is a journey, and we just need to figure out what makes styles our own and work perfect for us. And sometimes it's just a little bit of work, but well worth it. Now this is a really relatively low density piece. The weight is like 3 ounces. It's super lightweight. There's no permatease on this one, so the top is incredibly flat and realistic. It actually makes this more pronounced than if there was a little bit of volume on the top. You're not really going to get volume on this one because there's no permatease to hold it. So if you played with it, if you put styling product in it, you're really, you know, like I could do this and kind of give it the appearance that I just gave it some volume, but that's not going to hold because there's no permatease. If you get overwhelmed by poofiness on the top, if you don't like permatease though, this is a great style for that. And Belle Tress really doesn't use much permatease in their styles, and so they don't tend to be terribly poofy. So the volume is super realistic. I mean, and it helps with the movement. I mean, just look at that movement. It's just a bouncy style that has great movement, and it's not heavy. I think it'd be a great style for summer because it doesn't have the volume and the permatease or the length, so it'll be really, really cool. Let's take a look inside the caps. We've got a middle part, like I said. There's your lace front, and the lace is extended. Goes all the way to the ear tab. Gives you a lot of styling flexibility in the front if you want to pull the hair up. There is no extended nape. Pull adjusters, bra strap adjusters, and the rest of it is open wefted. Just give it a little shake, throw it on. Aside from a few little tweaks you may want to make to this one to make it your own, it's really a shake and go. And one trick that I do with wigs like this, because I've lost weight, so my face isn't as round as it used to be, but I have a kind of a roundish face, and so sometimes when there's volume on the sides here, I feel it draws attention to that. So what I like to do is I like to give myself a little bit of extra volume on the top by pulling up, putting a little clip in, you know, giving yourself a little bump it. Maybe I would pull a little more hair, and then that way you can balance out the sides with the top. And because this is such a great lace front, this one is going to have lots of off the face styling potential, which I really appreciate. It's also really tuckable. So another option that you have is to tuck if you want to kind of tamp down some of that in the front, because it's a little bit front heavy. You can put clips in. I even think if you took a little ponytail holder, you could do like a half up, half down. Obviously, I didn't work on it and it's not laying perfect, but because of this lace front, I think there's a lot of styling that you can do with this one and make it work no matter what your situation. Let's talk about fit. Belle Tress is known for running big. They're known as kind of an average large brand. Their caps fit me big, and I have a 22-inch circumference, but I'm very petite over the top of my head. I usually cinch my Belle Tress wigs in a little bit to fit my circumference comfortably, and they generally have good stretch as well. So if you are looking for something, you have a little bit of larger head measurements, I think Belle Tress is a great brand to look at. I do get extra cap up on the top that also is indicative of it running a little bit large. So I definitely think if you have a petite head, Belle Tress is going to run a little big. There are lots of videos on YouTube though showing you how to make a cap smaller, and I strongly encourage you to consider that if you're struggling to find styles that work for you for your small head. And I actually have a playlist with a bunch of those videos bookmarked. I'll make sure that's linked in the description. But if you have larger head measurements, I think this one might be one to try. This brand for sure. All right, let's talk about color. English Toffee. It is a beautiful medium dark brown with some auburn blended in. There is no root on English Toffee. And you might be wondering, well, it's brown. You know, some brunette wigs do have darker at the root, and this one is not like that. It is consistent all the way through. And you can see those auburn highlights, especially when I hold it up like this. You can see some of the darker brown in there, and then the auburn highlights. And it's very well blended. That look I just gave you, because of the way the light's pulling off it, makes it look a little stripey. It's not stripey in person. It's very, I mean, there are definitely some highlight effects, but it's also very well blended. That auburn is well dispersed throughout. So I would consider this an auburn brunette. If you want your brunettes to be less auburny, then English Toffee isn't for you. But if you like auburn, you know, and it's really got that good blend of a chocolate brown and auburn, so it's not a full-on auburn. Really pretty. Let's get outside so you can see this color outside, and please check out Name Brand Wigs next time you're in the market for a purchase, or if you're looking to purchase this one. Thanks, Auburn. Tripping over my words. Thanks, Name Brand Wigs, for sending me Jasmine Jazz. Let's get outside. Friends, we are outside with this color. You can tell spring is springing. Spring has sprung. You can hear the frogs. So I'll be silent for a moment and you can listen.
it's gonna get 3 times louder than this. They get so loud that at night you have to actually almost yell to be heard. Isn't this a beautiful brunette? Subtle but gorgeous, a little bit of dynamic, kind of tonal changes, but nothing super obviously highlighted. And it's all one color, no root. And it's windy out here. Now this is out of the box. I have not even kind of combed through her yet. I'm filming all of my outside the box today for a number of reviews. So this one may look a little different in the main review because I'll set the part and all of that, but at least you're able to see this color in bright sunlight. All right, thanks for watching.
Hey friends, here we go with the unboxing so that you can see what Jasmine Jazz looked like straight out of the box. Pretty much how I showed her. I really, like I said, didn't do really anything to her. Shook her out, combed through her, but that was it. I really like when wigs come out with minimal box hair because it makes it easier to assess whether or not it's a style that will work for you. In this case, all you really need to envision is combing out those waves, which you don't want to do if you're not going to keep it. But otherwise, I think it will be an easy one to assess. Thanks for watching.